The fans want to see blood, sweat, and tears. He's always in tremendous fights, and he's a very exciting knockout artist. And that's what boxing is about. It's about giving the people and the fans what they want to see.
Just coming up in weight, he came up in weight to him. I don't see. Honestly, I don't see him. He's a good fighter, but I don't see. He's nothing in his past.
Saying have a fight, yes, but have it at 140. Fighting anyone at 140 would be more exciting than this fight against Lamont Roach.
Floyd Mayweather analyzed Davis versus Roach, highlighting Tank's power, speed, and experience. He acknowledged Roach's skill, but believes he lacks the strength to withstand Davis' relentless pressure and knockout power.
But I must say this, the most exciting fighter that's acting and fighting in boxing right now is Gervonta Tank Davis. When Gervonta Tank Davis go out there and fight, he reminds me of Pretty Boy Floyd. Because Pretty Boy Floyd, you couldn't go get no popcorn. You couldn't go get no soda. You couldn't go get no candy. You don't want to miss nothing.
Renowned boxing analyst Al Bernstein has expressed doubts about Lamont Roach's ability to defeat Gervonta Tank Davis. Bernstein highlights that Roach's past performances show no evidence of the power needed to overcome a formidable opponent like Davis, who has an impressive record and multiple championships. This perspective has raised questions about the competitiveness of the upcoming fight.
About the big one coming up in a month, another guy you called several of his fights, Gervonta Davis, fighting Lamont Roach, is a significant favorite. Do you think Roach is being undervalued as an underdog, or it will probably go the way people think it will go?
Roach is coming up in weight. He came up in weight to him. I don't see. Honestly, I don't see him. He's a good fighter, but I don't see. He's nothing in his past tells me he's going to beat Gervonta Davis or even be competitive with him. And I'm not. It's not a denigration of Lamont Roach. He's a good fighter. He won a title at a lower weight, and that was a surprise to some people that he did get, even though he was a good prospect. So it's just hard to imagine him beating Davis.
The other Davis is fighting for a world title 2 weeks before in New York against Morenchik.
Oh yeah, Keyshawn Davis. That's a fascinating fight.
The upcoming fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach has sparked mixed reactions, with some labeling it a cherry pick due to Roach moving up to 130 obs. Former pro boxer DeWood Bay offers his analysis, highlighting the deep boxing history of Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. Bay believes Roach's camp is strong and expects a competitive bout, rather than an easy win for Davis. He also notes that Davis, being a top name in the sport, will face criticism unless he faces elite opponents like Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney. Bay anticipates an exciting DMV showdown filled with high-energy action.
Gervonta Davis, Lamont Roach. A lot of people shitting on the fight. A lot of people saying it's a cherry pick. A lot of people saying that, or criticizing Tank for bringing Lamont up to 130. What's your thoughts on that?
I think if you understand the history of D.C. and Baltimore, and then I'm familiar with Roach and them camp a little bit because I'm cool with people that's tight with them and stuff like that. So we all kind of encounter each other. I don't live nothing but 2.5 hours away, right? I wouldn't see none of them coming and laying down, and then Tank is tight. I think you're gonna get a DMV classic. Like, you're going to get a good fight. They're going to fight each other. Lamont going to fight Tank. You know what I'm saying? So for however long it lasts, or for however long the fireworks is, you know what I mean, going off, he's going to fight him. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's going to come out there to lay down. So, I don't know. I mean, people going to criticize you no matter what, though, what you getting, like, Tank position. It don't really matter what you do. Like, if you wasn't fighting, like, Shakur or Devin right now in this next fight, it's probably like 3 people he could be fighting and nobody wouldn't have nothing to say. You understand what I'm trying to say? Not to say that some fights can't be like better than others or whatever, but yeah, if he wasn't fighting Devin, Shakur, or like Teofimo, somebody gonna say like it's a cherry pick or everything. I mean, everybody's a cherry pick. Leave it up to them.
The boxing community has raised concerns about Davis' choice of Lamont Roach as his next opponent. Critics argue that Davis is avoiding tougher fights against top-tier contenders like Shakur Stevenson. Facing Roach, seen as a less formidable adversary, has led to accusations of cherry-picking and sparked debates about Davis's willingness to challenge himself against the best in the division.
His puncher, I feel, at the 135 will probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevens.
And what is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he wants.
Despite being a world champion, Lamont Roach remains relatively unknown to the broader public, fueling the perception that Davis has picked an easy fight. However, Roach supporters argue his underdog status could work to his advantage, with opponents possibly underestimating him. Shields acknowledges Roach's potential but emphasizes Davis' proven track record and formidable skills, giving him the edge in the match.
Garcia beat him, so Lamont Roach is a good fighter, but and I'm happy to see a fighter like Lamont Roach, who's had to come up the blue collar way, get a big opportunity, get a big payday. But now that I said that, it's an underwhelming fight, and everybody's saying that because it's true. And this is a fight that would have made more sense for Gervonta Davis a couple years ago, back when Gary Russell was rumored as an opponent. And this would be, like a good DMV rivalry, two guys from the DMV area. But in 2024, when Tank's already headlined a lot of pay-per-views, it's underwhelming. And, before the Gervonta Davis fans try to come at my throat, I get it. Lomachenko walked away from the table. Of course, that's after, some years earlier of Tank saying he wasn't interested in that fight. Fight was never officially negotiated by Top Rank or PBC, but for years, Gervonta had no real intention of fighting Lomachenko, and now Lomachenko has walked away from the table now that the fight's available. I understand that. I understand Shakur Stevenson really is opting more the Williams Zepeda route. I understand that Teofimo Lopez has only really called Davis out once the Lamont Roach fight was really being talked about around Canelo Berlanga fight week and was close to probably being finalized.
De La Hoya agrees, calling Tank a beast and suggesting that while Roach is a skilled fighter, facing Davis will be a major challenge, likely resulting in a tough night for Roach.
Terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter. He's a dedicated fighter when it comes to training and fighting and making sure that he's in optimal conditions when he steps inside that squared circle. It's going to be a tough night for Roach, but you can never count him out. Watching him fight up close and personal, he's sneaky good, which means he can catch you at any time. He can land combinations, sometimes at will, without you even knowing it. He's that sneaky. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But, obviously Gervonta Davis has the experience. He has the knowledge. He has that mean streak in him that will take you out with any.
Gervonta Davis recently announced plans to retire at the end of 2025, citing personal reasons and a desire to prioritize his family and mental health. This decision has influenced his choice of opponents, prompting him to select Lamont Roach for his upcoming fight.
I take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson ducked him. Lomachenko ducked him openly. El Rayo didn't want to fight this year. He wanted to fight next year. Another thing is, I was hearing that Tank wanted it at 135 and rehydration, all kind of shit. So, but I don't know how true that is, which it wouldn't shock me if that was true. Either way, for whatever reason, El Rayo fell apart. The options were just getting diabolical. All right, I understand that. At the same time, Lamont Roach versus Tank is trash. If Devin Haney announced he was fighting Lamont Roach coming up from 130 next at 135, I'll say that shit's trash. Let me tell you this. To me, Gervonta is far better than Devin Haney. So it's trash, bruh. It's trash.
Some speculate that Davis aims for manageable victories before retiring, while others think he's giving lesser-known fighters opportunities for exposure and financial gains. Devin Haney, however, doesn't believe Tank will retire anytime soon.
Into Tank retiring.
He's retiring?
That's what he said.
Nah, he's not retiring. There's a lot of big fights to be made out there, and Tank knows that. I don't think he's gonna retire, with a lot of unfinished business.
What do you make of the Tank versus Roach fight? Do you think it's a fight that Tank should have at this point of his career?
No comment.
What do you make of a Tank?
I'm Lamont Roach. We've been cool since we was in the amateurs. So I'm happy that he got the opportunity, and that's all I can say.
And what about Tank Shakur? If that fight happens in the future, who do you see winning?
It's a good fight for boxing. I think that we should all be fighting each other. That's what boxing is about. It's the best fighting the best.
People are criticizing Lamont Roach simply because they're unfamiliar with him and his achievements. Unlike Gervonta Davis, who is a household name with massive exposure, Roach hasn't received the same spotlight. Fans believe in Tank due to his knockouts, dominance, and championship wins, while Roach remains underrated. However, just because Roach hasn't had the same visibility doesn't mean he isn't a threat. As a world champion, he has earned his place at the top, and this fight is his opportunity to prove himself. Critics may be sleeping on him, but Roach is ready to wake them up with a strong performance.
Big hair, don't care. On the way to the gym, and I'm just totally perplexed. I see a lot of people on Twitter and on the internet talking about disdain when it comes to, the Tank fight with Lamont Roach. I'm like, what's the problem? They act like Lamont Roach has not fought anybody and he isn't anybody. His only loss is against a former world champion in Jamel Herring. His last two fights with McCrory and Hector Luis Garcia, they were fire. This is a legitimate matchup. I don't know what the problem is. Everybody says that Tank needs to fight someone. Now he's fighting someone, and people have something to say. What do y'all want? What do y'all want from these guys? These are the matchups we want to see. It's going to be good. I'm not going to say who I'm picking right now because I want to see more, but respect to both guys.
Boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult suggests that Gervonta Davis should move up to the 140 pounds weight class to face tougher opponents. He argues that such a move would lead to more exciting and competitive fights, addressing criticisms that Davis is choosing easier matchups. This perspective aligns with fans' desire to see Davis challenge himself against higher caliber competition.
Have a fight, yes, but have it at 140. Fighting anyone at 140 would be more exciting than this fight against Lamont Roach. Nothing against Lamont Roach, but I'm telling you, Gervonta Tank Davis fanboys, not the fans, but the fanboys, you're not going to be able to convince people that Lamont Roach is someone to get excited about versus Tank. It's not going to happen. You're going to try to call people casuals or whatever, but really, people who really knows boxing, they know that Gervonta Tank Davis is too much for Lamont Roach, right? Now, I was saying go up to 140. Fight who, Showbiz? Fight anybody. Just have a fight at 140. And when you see in hindsight that Teofimo Lopez and Devin the American Dream Haney is now negotiating for their fight, you can understand now why I would say something like that. He has a fight at 140, then he takes on the Teofimo Lopez and Devin the American Dream Haney winner.
Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis have a history dating back to their amateur careers. Roach recalls facing Davis twice, first in regional competitions and later at the national level in Baltimore. These past encounters add an intriguing dimension to their upcoming professional bout, as both fighters have significantly evolved since then.
We fought twice in the same tournament. So,
That's different.
yeah, we fought in the Junior Olympics, in the regionals, and we fought in the nationals.
Okay. You fought in the regionals and then fought again in the nationals?
Yeah. So, So we fought in the regionals in Baltimore in his hometown. It was a close fight. Obviously, I thought I won. We sent there was like an incident where a point got taken from both of us, and it only should have been him, or whatever the case may be. And we sent the tape to USA Boxing, and USA Boxing sent us an at-large bid to go to the Nationals.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, and then they put us on two different sides of the bracket, and we met up in the championship.
And he took it again.
Yeah, he won a close fight, and I
Too
thought
close.
I won that one too.
People knocked out 28 of them, right? What makes you different?
He probably can answer that question. He probably can answer that question. But it's the skill, the will. I got the whole package, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not sitting there waiting to get hit by nobody, especially somebody that's supposed to be a power puncher. That's evidently a power puncher. I got too much. I got too much for me to go out like that. I'm not saying he don't, but I can't. Like, if anything, I'm trying to flip it around. I'm trying to make it flip the narrative. Like, I'm the one.
Lamont Roach is currently ranked 14th globally and 3rd in the U.S. in the super featherweight division, holding the WBA title, which solidifies his status as a legitimate world champion. Despite these credentials, Roach remains underappreciated by many boxing fans, a factor that could influence the dynamics of the upcoming fight.
Yo, we gonna be checking for any suspicious opponents on Lamont Roach record. He's 25-1 with 10 big wins coming by the way of knockout, my people. He's in the super featherweight division. He's ranked number 14 in the world and number 3 in the USA, my people. He has a WBA title right now in the super featherweight division. He's fighting Gervonta Davis in December, but you know we gotta check how he even got there and how he started his career. His pro debut, he went against Victor. He was 1-3. That's fine. It's your pro debut. First fight as a professional. You feel me? I ain't gonna get at you. Next person was 1-6. Alright, I mean, we ain't do better, but it's your second fight. Like, fourth person was 0-1. That was a little sussy because he ended up 0-10. He never won a day in his life, so he never got his hand raised in a boxing match. You feel me? And then the next person, he stepped it up, though. He went to undefeated. It's only 2 fights, but he was 2-0. Then 12-9, that's a journeyman. I'm not gonna lie. 4-2, 3-4, these are looking good. 8-5, that's a journeyman in the making. He gotta win.
In the lead up to their fight, Lamont Roach has been vocal, engaging in trash talk from the outset, while Gervonta Davis has opted for silence, letting his in-ring performance speak for itself. This contrast in pre-fight demeanor has fueled anticipation, with observers eager to see how the tension will translate into their performances in the ring. Some speculate there's a deeper reason behind Davis' choice to fight Roach. Boxing legend Mike Tyson suggests that fighters sometimes take specific matchups to help friends financially. This theory proposes that Davis might be giving Roach a significant payday and exposure, rather than seeking the toughest challenge. While Roach is undoubtedly a skilled fighter, many argue that Davis had more competitive options, like Shaker Stevenson. If true, this fight could be more about business than legacy. Roach views it as his opportunity to prove himself, while Davis aims to silence his critics with a dominant performance.
On the other side, on the flip side of everything, I see whereas though I heard Mike Tyson, make a statement saying, I think that fighters should make fights and put money in their friend's pocket. Could this be a fight where Tank is saying, hey, nobody else wants to fight me, everybody else is ducking me, nobody's available. This is a fight where I can put some money in Lamont Roach Jr.'s pocket. Could that be the case? Could he say, I just want to put some money in his pocket? I'm going to give him an opportunity, somebody from my area, somebody who has the same color skin that I have, give him an opportunity to be great and then make some money. And now, after this fight, if Lamont Roach Jr., I believe he's not going to win. I think he's going to come up short. I'm not saying he's going to get stopped. But if you look at Tank's knockout ratio, you could possibly believe that he can be stopped in this fight.
Regardless of the fight's outcome, Lamont Roach has clear plans for his boxing career. He intends to drop back down to the 130 pounds division to challenge top fighters like Vasyl Lomachenko. Roach sees the opportunity to fight Davis as a stepping stone to greater recognition and future high-profile bouts.